I have been thinking about this for a little while now, and I think I'm finally coming to terms with it. Audio equipment for gaming, streaming, and content creation is stale. It's boring, it's not innovative, and it could really use a giant refresher. So how did I come to this point? Well, in the past couple months, I've been going through audio device after audio device after audio device after audio device. And then I went through some more. And with each new device that I've gotten, it'll have one feature that is really amazing for itself. And it does it really, really well. But then some of the downsides are different from other devices. And I kind of want to walk you through what I've been through in the past 6 months. When I first started streaming about 2 years ago, I was using this device right here. An audio mixer that has 8 or 10 inputs, some onboard effects that I honestly never really got to use or understood how to use for that matter. It was just something that I had left over from when I was doing a podcast in person, actually pre-COVID, pre-pandemic. It was something that I needed all those inputs for the 4 or 5 people on the show in person, but when I moved into gaming and content creation, I didn't need 8 inputs. The audio mixer was a great first piece of equipment, but as I started to grow my content and as I started to learn more about what I could do with audio and what some of these other devices had to offer, I knew I needed to upgrade. And from there, I moved on into getting a Go XLR Mini. This thing is a beast. It is one of the most amazing pieces of audio equipment for a content creator. And I still believe that it is high on the list, the regular Go XLR and the Go XLR Mini. But as good as this was, I was still having a little bit of trouble because I switched up to a 2 PC setup and I needed to do multi-track recording so I could edit each piece of my audio individually in post. That's what's most important for me. And with the Go XLR, it was not as intuitive as it could have been. And at this point, I'd had the Go XLR for 6 to 8 months, and Beacon just announced their new Beacon Mix Create. But it brought another challenge with it because the Beacon Mix Create is actually more like an audio mixer without the audio input. It has no XLR input, and that's what I'm using on this microphone right here. And so I would have either had to keep a Go XLR Mini or I would have had to add like an audio interface. And that's what I opted for, a cheaper Behringer audio interface along with my Beacon. The audio interface made my mic sound terrible because there was no onboard VST. At the time of creating this, I think Beacon that's on their roadmap for down the road. So if you see this in the future, don't hate me. I still had a lot of trouble doing multi-track in OBS. And so again, I was left wanting more out of this device and it just kind of left me in a not fun spot because I felt like I needed to upgrade or revert back to my Go XLR, even though the Go XLR had its own set of problems. So I hung on to the Beacon for a little bit, but I ended up finding the Rode X series that was just launched and I got myself a Rode XCM50, a brand new USB microphone that came with Rode's Unify software. I figured I could get rid of a lot of my physical devices like the Beacon, Behringer audio interface, my Go XLR, all of these things, and replace it with just a USB mic. Sounds great. The Unify software is awesome. It's a little less intuitive than some of the other ones. But one of the really cool things about the software is you are able to record multi-track within the software itself. You don't have to rely on OBS to do it or route anything in OBS. However, in hindsight, matching up audio and video is kind of a pain in the ass, so it didn't always work and it took an extra step and it wasn't for me. And also being a USB mic, I know that a lot of USB mics out there are great. I just don't think it sounds as good as my XLR microphone. So I still longed for using the Go XLR in all honesty. So anyways, I stuck it out with the Rode X series mic for a little bit, and then Elgato launched their Stream Deck Plus. And so this is where I'm at right now. I have my Stream Deck Plus and I'm going through the Wavelink software. Everything's being routed that way. I have my Go XLR to have my XLR microphone hooked up, and I still have my 2 PC setup and I'm recording multi-track in OBS. So all of that is fine and dandy, and that's kind of the rough outline of my journey so far. And some of the things that I failed to mention yet and I want to talk about because I think they're important is currently in my setup, my mic goes through VoiceMod. And if you're not sure what VoiceMod is, it's a way to trigger sound effects, it's a way to do voice changers, and it's a way to just clean up your general mic tone. VoiceMod is a great piece of software, but it can be somewhat difficult to use sometimes because when I was using Beacon, Beacon wouldn't pick up the voice mod out. So I had to find a workaround using third-party software like Voicemeeter Banana to get it to work at all. And if I'm paying a lot of money for a physical device, it should just work natively. It should work intuitively. I shouldn't have to use third-party software to get things work. And I think that's another big thing that I kind of found frustrating throughout this entire process is my reliance on free software like Voicemeeter to pick up the odds and ends that I needed to like voice out to my second PC, or if gameplay in from my gaming PC to my streaming PC has to be routed through Voicemeeter. Why does it have to work that way? It shouldn't. It should be native, it should work. It should be simple. Hi, Mike from the future here. I want to actually interject for a second because I'm editing the video right now and I don't think I explained that last point as good as I could have. There's two parts. And first, voice mod is amazing, but I really wish it was done on the hardware side from one of these devices. Voice mod introduces some lag and it makes monitoring the voice sound effects really difficult because it creates a delay in your headset. It can also create a delay in OBS. And my thinking is doing it on the hardware side would be able to decrease a bit of that. And also, instead of relying on this third-party software, it would all be native to each ecosystem, whether it be Elgato, Rode, or whoever. Second part, Beacon made it really easy to choose what sounds went out through this virtual audio output. The overall point stands of, I shouldn't have to use any other third-party software like Voicemeeter. But when you have these DAWs or these audio softwares from these companies, I would love for everything to be in the software that you need. Give those users who want to dive deep an advanced options section for a routing table or multi-track recording within the app. I'd rather have it be more robust for the users that want it than not robust enough. Back to the video. So I've been down this rabbit hole of audio devices for content creation and gaming for like years now. And I started to think to myself and building this idea up in my head of what would be the perfect audio device, or what would the perfect audio device look like that would allow me to be happy with the equipment and not looking to upgrade every 6 months and switching companies and having to redo my entire setup. And this is honestly kind of what I've found. I want an XLR in. I think that's pretty basic, pretty standard, but also an aux in, maybe a couple of different auxes in, heck, maybe 2 XLRs in. I want options in case I decide to switch to a headset mic or if I have someone else on the show, right? Along with those ports, let's still get an optical in. What if we even had a USB in? So if I have a wireless headset with the USB dongle, I can plug directly into the device and not have to rely on my computer. I want some physical sliders, kind of like we have on our XLR, or even the audio mixer. Some knobs that you could target and tell them what each of them do would also be amazing. Physical mute buttons, a section of buttons that could be like your smart pads or Elgato Stream Deck buttons that you can target and tell each of them what to do. So maybe they're triggering sound effects, maybe they're doing voice commands, maybe they're turning lights on and off. I think functionality, being able to change these how you want, would be amazing. And one of the final things that I really want is something that can hook up to 2 PCs through USB at the same time. Since I'm on a 2 PC setup, I want to be able to get audio from one PC to another and have it route pretty natively, and yet also have it to be able to record multi-track in OBS. Also Bluetooth compatible in case I want to play sound effects off of my phone or hook up my Bluetooth headphones to it. That would be cool. And also onboard voice changing effect, a physical device that can do voice mod's job so I don't have to rely on a piece of software that can glitch out on me sometimes. And I'm sure I forgot something that you guys want to see in an audio device, so make sure you comment it down below. So anyways, as I've been thinking about this, I've kind of come to terms that there are some devices that are close. The original Go XLR is still an amazing piece of equipment and it does a lot of what I want it to do, but we need like a Go XLR version 2. There's also the Rodecaster Pro 2, which does a lot of these things, but I need a mini version of that. I don't need 6 sliders. I don't need 8 sound pads. I don't need 4 XLR inputs. I don't need 4 mic jacks. Rode has already expressed some interest with the Rode X series of getting into the gaming industry. Give me like I said, a 1 XLR input, like a 2 sliders, 6 sound pad, 1 headphone out with 2 audio interfaces for multi-track and everything. Like, just give me a smaller version of that. And also Elgato, give me your version of this. I want to see it. The devices that you offer right now are great. They're stellar. I use a lot of them, but I want Elgato's version of the Go XLR. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Make sure you comment exactly what you want to see in an audio device down below. I'll catch you in the next one.